Hi, good morning. So it's Tuesday morning and I'm heading out to an appointment here in a little bit. I already took my daughter to school. It's nice when I have that alone time in between taking her to school and appointments where it just gives me a little time to, aside from get ready, as you know, most of you moms, we don't usually have that time. It also is nice to be able to kind of look within and try to figure out what's going on with myself. So I wanted to share with you guys today. I woke up feeling really off, and I'm just curious if any of you have ever felt that way. And the first go-to for me is, what the heck did I dream about last night, right? Why am I feeling so off? So what does that mean? Sometimes it's really hard to put words into feelings. Oh no, actually feelings into words. I don't know if you have that trouble sometimes, but I know I do. I know that I know what I'm feeling inside, which I always feel a lot right here, but then I don't always know how to put it into words, so I'm going to try. You wake up in the morning, there's no reason for you to feel off that you can actually put your finger on, except for you went to bed last night and woke up this morning. And then you're sitting there and you're trying to figure it out. So what happens? A lot of times, are you waking up in the morning feeling off and you're starting to almost run a list through your mind of everything that's going on in your life, if it's your relationship, if it's your career, if it's your job, if it's your children. Is this why I feel off? Is this why I feel off? Is this why I feel off? And a lot of times you're not even completely sure what to point at or what to pinpoint. But our minds are so accustomed to trying to find a reason for why you're feeling off. And I'm not telling you that there isn't a reason sometimes, but sometimes there just isn't. Sometimes you just feel off because you just do. So I try to go within, and what I mean by that is I have a little time on my own. I try to listen to my thoughts, and I'm really good about listening to them, and some things pop up, and I don't react, and I just allow them to come, and I take the time to think through them. But sometimes I just recognize I need to stop that. Today is one of those days where I recognize that I feel off and it might just not be something in particular going on in my life. And a lot of people, what they do is when they wake up feeling off, they recognize, hi Eddie, they recognize that, oh my gosh, wait, I have to find a reason. You kind of don't. So this is what I wanted to say to you today. One of the hardest lessons that I've learned in my life is, and it's not easy for someone that really, really likes to know what's happening today, to know what's happening tomorrow. Now, my schedule, it's set for the entire week. My schedule is set for 2 weeks in advance when it comes to work. That's logical. That's what we have to do. What I'm talking about is the rest of your life. What I'm talking about is things, oh, hi Stacy, I know, right? Me too. I'm so sorry. So maybe some of this will help with you. What I suggest to do is this. I suggest you to kind of look at this in 2 ways. If everything is going really well in your life, and you feel kind of off, give yourself the opportunity to just be. And that's probably been one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn, because my life has always been planned out in some shape or form. So when it comes to me, when it comes to the things in my life that I can let be, for example, I can't let my work appointments be because they have to be set up in advance. I'm an action taker. I set action in motion. I reach out when I want to speak somewhere. I reach out when I want to work with somebody. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you within yourself. So this is what I suggest you do. And this is something that took me a long time to kind of recognize and be comfortable with. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't easy for me because whenever I allowed myself to just be with my thoughts, I'm talking pin drop quiet. That's my go-to. Some people can be with their thoughts when their TV's on or when they have music on. I need pin drop quiet. And when I allow myself to be with pin drop quiet, and this is what happened at first when I used to do this. When I used to do this at first, I'd have like a train station, multiple trains almost coming through my mind. What do I mean? Thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. Well, I just write them all down. Write them all down. Not all of them are going to make sense. That's your mind not knowing how to just be in peace. But what's happened to me through the years, as I have found my place and my peace within myself, is now my thoughts start answering the questions that I ask. Let me explain to you what that means. I know it sounds kind of weird. Ask yourself what you want to know. Ask yourself within your mind or out loud when you're alone in that pin drop quiet. yourself. And I'm talking specific questions, not why am I not happy. That's a good one to ask, but you might not get the answers that you're looking for. Go through your life and ask yourself those questions, and then write down everything that you learn. I'm not saying it's all going to be clear, and I'm not saying it's all things you have to do. I don't knee-jerk. I work my way through things. I allow myself to think them through. But when you allow yourself to go within and really be with yourself, and a lot of people are not comfortable being alone, and a lot of people are not comfortable being in pin drop quiet, that for me has given me some of my biggest breakthroughs. Some of them I didn't even want to hear. Some of them I didn't want to know. And that's probably the hardest part at times, is that you need to allow yourself to be with things that are uncomfortable. Try it, see what happens, and keep doing it. Because at first, it's not going to work. At first, you're going to have 1,000 things come through. Write them all down, sort them through. I'm like, list. I do health, and I do financial, and I do relationships, and I do money, and I separate them, and I start doing these lists. That's my logical brain, because I want to make sense out of everything. So one of the things that I want you to think about today is this. Recognize that the really and truly and honestly, and yes, talk to people and reach out to support, mentors, therapists, whatever you need. I'm a big believer in Team Galit. But really, in all honesty, those people will ask the questions and you're still going to have to come up with the answers. Don't look for your answers out there. Look for your answers within. And let me tell you, there are times you're not going to listen to those answers. I know that there are times I don't want to hear those answers. But if I don't, my soul, and you can call it whatever you want, it doesn't let you have peace. And I have to tell you that a lot of times, the stuff that I'm putting out there in my business, it comes to me in those quiet times. It comes to me in that pin drop quiet. That's when I get my best ideas. So it's not just about looking at your personal life. It's also looking at what are you supposed to do next. Now recognize you're probably continuing to get the answers and you may not be listening. So you must, hi Mary Cruz, good morning. You must listen to yourself. You must recognize that you're going to know yourself best. So today, if you're feeling off, that's what I suggest. The other thing that I do, I'm a big believer in meditations and I listen to flow dreams. I love flow dreams. I have my go-tos. In my pin drop quiet, after I've allowed myself to go within, I will put on my Bluetooth. I do this because I wear Bluetooth or headphones, and I will listen to something that will kind of bring myself back to center. Because at the end of the day, I still got to go through my day. I can't spend the day in bed trying to figure this out. You don't have to figure everything out. Some of the things that you can do is recognize. Once you go within, allow. And that is some of the hardest things that people do. It's one of the hardest things for me because I want to figure everything out and I want to plan it all. So when those thoughts come, you don't always have to spring straight into action. You need to recognize that sometimes just let it be. And I'm telling you, I cannot tell you how many times when I've taken those thoughts and I've recognized what they are. Okay, I don't need to figure this out this second. And I just let it be, but I'm aware. Things come to me, doors open, people show up. It's surreal when you open yourself. But I need you to recognize you have to be open. And I do this because to me, your heart needs to be open. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that because allowing that in any shape or form in your life makes you vulnerable. And vulnerability sucks. In your personal life, in your business life, in your career, you want to know everything right now. You want to figure it all out right now. Be open to those thoughts, but then allow. Allow yourself time. So many people knee-jerk on things. Don't knee-jerk. Sometimes you need the patience. And let me tell you, that's been one of my biggest lessons in my life. To be patient. To recognize not everything has to be figured out right now. Allow yourself to be open to what comes your way. But please, don't let those opportunities pass you by. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that people do, is you allow yourself to be open, then they come, and you allow them to walk away because you're scared. So, the words of the day, be open, allow yourself to be vulnerable, and don't let fear stop you from the things that keep coming your way. Why don't you just say okay and figure it out afterwards? Of course, make sure it's something that benefits your health or your relationships or your career. Don't say okay to things that don't feel good. But sometimes that okay will open up 1,000 more doors. So what I want you guys to do for me today, if you don't mind, and humor me, is this. When you feel a little off, any time of the day, for me it's a lot of times in the morning, I wonder what the heck I'm dreaming about, and I can't remember them for the life of me. Recognize it's okay to open yourself up, to let yourself be in complete quiet, to allow those answers to come in and ask them. Ask yourself what you want to know. Who's going to know you better than you, right? Nobody knows me better than me, and trust me, I'm still trying to figure myself out every day. I still haven't figured it out. I tell people all the time I'm a work in progress. But allow yourself to be vulnerable to what might come your way. Allow yourself to be open to the things that are scary. Because without that, you're going to keep feeling that icky feeling, and it won't go away, guys. I don't care what you do. You're going to wake up off every morning, and you're going to feel like, I don't know how else to explain it, but feeling icky. And I feel icky a lot. I need you to recognize it doesn't go away. But what I choose to do is try to figure out why, and then I try to figure out what's next after I allow, not in that moment. So that's my go-to for today. I have appointments most of the day, so I've been working through my icky and my off all morning. And I'm going to keep working through it throughout the day, but I function, thank God, in this place. I'm very blessed because I've worked hard to be able to function. And I hope by the end of the day, some kind of awareness will come to me. And if not by the end of today, maybe tomorrow. So leave yourself open to what might come your way. And please, please, please don't think that there aren't people out there that are going through what you're going through and don't feel what you're feeling. You're not alone. Reach out to those friends. Reach out to those family members. And if you don't have those friends or family members, reach out to professional people that can be there for you, whatever you might believe in. If it's God, and it's your preacher or your rabbi, if it's therapist, if you're spiritual, reach out to the spiritual people. Whatever it is that you believe in, there are people out there. If you don't want to reach out to people, look for those groups on Facebook. They're everywhere that can support you, whatever you might be going through. But whatever you do, don't allow yourself to stay in the place you are today. Life is short, and it's not guaranteed. And what I want you to do more than anything is allow yourself to live it. Even though I go through these feelings, and you can probably see it in my eyes today, I'm feeling a little off, I'm probably on the verge of tears, I recognize I'm not alone, and I recognize that there's a way to work through whatever it is that's going on. So make sure you do that for yourself. And please, 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 comment. Comment on this video. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if there's somewhere I can support you and guide you in the right direction. No matter if it's in your business, in your personal life, anywhere. I love giving people tools. I can't help everybody, that's life. But I can at least guide you towards the right direction. Because I want you to be everything that you can be. That's my goal for every person I ever come across, or every person I never meet, that you can be everything you want to be. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you had something. I'm sorry it was quite longer than I anticipated. So thank you for watching, and I hope that there's something in this that resonates with you and that you take into yourself today. Have a wonderful day. Bye.